Well, we're back from the park. Let me see here. Pause. Okay. I'll wait a minute until some people come in. I'll get the stream lit off. I mean, we never have big numbers, but today we had about 20 on the stream at Buda Park. You guys like to watch the flying? Well, I'm going to show you how to make a line jig and a set of lines. The hell was that? Oh. Still nobody. Well, we'll get to work here. All right. So let's go to this camera here. What I've got here is I went out in the garage, my woodworking shop, and I cut a piece of lumber. Just by eye, it's about a foot long and 4 inches wide. Then I split a 2x4. These are approximately 2x2. And I got me some 3/4 plywood. If you ever wrap lines, I don't know what happened to my jig. And I also used to wrap them with the Jim Lee clothespin. However, that's a large pain in the rear to do. So we're going to make a proper line wrapping jig. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to need my drill driver, my impact. I've already sanded this as most I'm going to do, and I put it on the router table and I routed over the edge to make it round. I mean, there's no need to do that. But we're going to glue and screw those blocks on this. Of course, it's countersunk. So okay, let's do this one. Put some tight bond on it. You could do a super nice job and drill and dowel this stuff. We want to make a set of lines. We don't want to spend a million days making a line jig. Close enough. Now, just some advice: if you have an impact and you don't want to strip this out, run it down till it stops, but don't keep going because you'll strip it. You get a screwdriver and just put a little on it. The glue is going to hold it when it starts to dry, but I want to continue on doing this, so And trust me, this is a handy thing to have. Seems that my engine run problems are fixed. I was beginning to worry there. I thought maybe I wasn't going to get to take it. I'm still not flying very well, but okay. Within a couple of minutes, this will be. I don't have to wait for it to dry, but it's not coming apart. The white glue is about 10 times stronger than the screws. All right, we want to, I'm going to drill a hole here. I stopped off at the hardware store and I got 2 wing nuts and what the hell's that? And some hanger bolts. Unfortunately, I don't have any 1/4-20 bolts to drive this, so I'm going to have to figure out. Can't go in very far. So I need a drill again. What the heck? Set it over there. Oh, drill's right here. That's probably not a big enough bit. That's okay. We'll fix her up. Let's see, 1/4 inch. This is a 1/4 inch bolt. I would say it's probably 7/32, 13/64. We'll try that. The human drill press. So, does everybody see what we're building here? I mean, I don't want you to not get the drift. Now, you normally, in a work environment, I wouldn't do this for a customer. I wouldn't put vice grips on. I double nut 2 1/4-20s, but I don't have any here. Close enough. I have to go up and drill bit size in that. So, 1/4 17/64. side there. And that side there. So this is the bottom. That's the top. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I bet we're going to have a hard time because there's not enough bolt there. These are too thick. Oh, shoot. I'm going to add that. I'm going to add this foam. There's not going to be enough. Well, hell, what are we going to do? I guess I'm going to have to, excuse me for a second, I'm going to take this over the sander and I'm going to sand a 16th off each side of this, so give me a minute. Everybody knows how much I like sanding. So let's see what we got here. There we go. We got enough now. So I would say for the 2-inch hanger bolt, use 3/8 lumber, 3/8 plywood for this part, because you're going to have this in there, and that'll leave me just enough. So while we work on the other end, let's glue this up and get it ready to go. We're going to need to trim that off, I think. Yeah. I have to trim a skosh of that. So go over to my table saw and cut just a smidge off of it. 1/16 of an inch off of this side right here. I mean, you don't really have to do that, but if I'm going to make it, it's going to look good. If you're going to make it, you might as well do it right. This side here. That's pretty good. Okay, so now I want to glue this block here on that. So kind of weird that the title of this video is line wrapping and you come in to see me woodworking, but this is the tool you got to have to wrap a good set of lines. Otherwise, unless you got 10,000 hands. Let's see. There we go. Just a little off on the bolt. That's the way it goes. No big deal. We ain't building a watch. We're building a stupid line wrapping jig. And this particular line wrapping jig costs $4. And why do I say that? Because that's what the washers, the wing nut, and the hanger bolts cost, $4. These other pieces are just some scrap wood that you'll no doubt have laying around somewhere. Now, Tom Morris sold a real nice looking one. Finished really nice and all that. But you don't need all that. 2x4. Piece of fine, whatever. So for now, we're just using this as a clamp. I might go and build model airplanes, wipe the mess up. Does everybody know how this works? I'm going to show you, but if you don't know, speak up. Okay, now we need a hook set here. You know, if I'd have thought about it, I got a hook set in the garage. I could have just screwed in there. But we ain't going to go out and get that. We're going to just make a hook set. Come on. Yeah, I got plenty of carbon. Yeah, here we go. We'll use this. This is RC push rod wire. And the reason why we're going to use that is it's real valuable. We could do this one. I guess we'll just drill a hole down in there like so. I'm faking this part because I could have, like I say, I could have used a hook set that I got in the garage, but I'm too lazy to go out and get it. And you guys don't want to wait for me to go walk way out, go downstairs and walk way back. So we'll just go with this. Come on, out of there. Close enough. I'm not building a watch. Hit or not. No, well, we don't care. We don't care. see shit. Oh well. There we go. I don't have any round nose pliers, so I guess I'll have to be needle nose. Happy 4th of July, Steve. Okay, we use my miniature bolt cutters. Now I don't have a flathead. Oh well, it don't matter. A flathead wood screw, so we don't lose that. Or do I? I got one of these. We'll put 2 of these on it. This is Mickey Mouse here, what I'm doing, but like I say, we're not. I just want to get this done so I can wrap the set of lines. Well, that's odd. I got a screw with no point on it. What kind of crap is that? I've never seen a wood screw with no point on it. They must have screwed up in China. At a later date, I'll make something better for this. But at least now it won't fall out. Anyway, there's a line wrapping jig. The last thing to do is to add the foam up here to hold the lines. Hope it's going to be thick enough. Just barely. This bolt needed to be longer. 2 inches all I had. Unless Okay, close enough. I can see we're not building a watch, so. Poke it with this. Oh, we'll poke it with that. And I really hate this. You could injure yourself really good like that. Let's make it super big now. That way it'll clear all that shit. "11 watchers to a line wrapping video. I haven't begun a wrap yet." Okay, some CA. We're gonna have to sand that thinner too. What happened to my wing nut? There it is. Give it a minute to kick off there. Ain't the prettiest thing, but it'll work just fine. Let's sand that down now, because I can't sand that off because it's on there. Oh well. Let me give me a second. I'm going to end up putting something else on there because that belt just ripped the shit out of this. Yeah, we'll just take this off. I guess I could use a piece of balsa wood, 16th balsa wood on there. But I got to go back and sand this off. Let me tell you, that belt, that rubber didn't like that belt at all. Okay, here's an oldie but moldy Midwest balsa. This is I mean, it's all right. It's just not super great quality. Let's see, why do I want this? Well, the rubber will hold the line, but this will pinch them in between, and I don't want to pinch them with hardwood. So this should work just fine. Yeah. You guys enjoy the flying videos today? I mean, couldn't really see much, but I sure am glad I got the engines straightened out. I tried everything except the simplest thing, the fuel. Okay. Drill, where'd it go? Oh, right in front of my face. We got a 1/4 inch, 1764. When I came back from flying, came in here and I heard a bunch of scratching around underneath my saw. My damn cat snuck in here and spent the night underneath the workbench. She knows she's not supposed to be here, but didn't screw nothing up, so we're okay. All right, we're almost ready to start wrapping. Where's my washers? Wing nut. I guess I dropped it. Oh well. All right. Move all this shit and I'll show you how to do it. Now I measured them out at the field yesterday and I cut them about 66 foot long. I'm going to make a set of 65s because if you notice today on the lap times I couldn't really get a consistent run around 5.3, 5.4. Want to run 5.1, sometimes 5.2. Well, that's a 4-pitch propeller, and it's a pretty efficient prop. And if I keep backing off the engine, it'll come to a point where the engine won't want to run. It'll be too fat. And in the wind, you want to run. You don't want to back the needle off in the wind. You want to go in. You want to turn it in and slow it down other ways. So I'm going to build, I'll wrap a set of 65s today and a set of 66s tomorrow. I don't have any more of the good clear, clean 19 strand or whatever they are. 17 strand, 12 strand, I don't know, whatever they are. Anyway, take an eyelet here. I'll bring it in a little closer. Because you got to be able to see what I'm doing. Come on. Now I have these furls, and I even have a pair of pliers that Carl Shoup made me to crimp these furls. But I'm not real comfortable with furling the lines. I'd rather go ahead and wrap them. It's a pain in the ass to wrap them, but it's well worth it. So first thing we're going to do is to get the lines. I'll leave out about, I don't know, about 18 inches or so. Nope, that ain't enough. That's enough. Actually, I should have went around long enough to go back. Yep. Which there's enough line here for that, I think. Now, I usually go around 2 times around the eyelet. Everybody see how that worked? I went this way, around 2 times, and back. Now we get the wire and start the arduous task of wrapping. My wire's all wound up. Come on. There it is. Need about 18 inches or so wire, 12 to 18 inches. I'm going to start out here. Yeah, just leave it like that. I'm doing this inside where it's cool. We're going to have to go outside and mark them exact and cut them and bring them back in. We'll roll them up from the other end. Now, Jim Lee has that little clothespin that'll zip around there, but it doesn't do as nice a job as I'm going to show you how I do it. You know, your airplane depends on this stuff. So it takes a while, but you might as well do a good job so your airplane don't come flying off of there. Never, never solder these. And I really don't even like epoxying them. I just put heat shrink on them. Hi, John. I do one line red and one line black heat shrink. That way you can tell which is up and which is down, or any color that you may choose. But I don't know that I cut off enough wire here. Now I've shown you how to build this jig. That's a valuable piece of information. Can you do it without this jig? Yeah, you can, but boy, it's fiddly. They don't come out as nice either. You know, this reminds me of 2007. I did this at the Nats. We ain't doing that again. Seems like every year I'm never prepared. So now, when somebody charges you $25 for a set of lines, you know why. It's not just the cost of the line, which is, well, back then it was, I think, $40 for 1,000 foot. It's all the time that it takes to do this. Because I'm sure this will take me more than an hour to make a set of lines up. But they'll be the finest lines going. You're on about 5/8 of an inch. Yeah. You know, you guys have heard me say, buy once, cry once, buy the best that you can get. And doesn't matter whether you can afford it or not. I mean, if it's a tool, buy the best the first time. Don't buy second best, because you're just going to either regret it or it's going to break. You're going to have to buy it again. So you might as well buy it the first time, the best you can get, and cry one time, not over and over and over and over again. Harbor Freight tools, hammers. How can you screw up a hammer? Well, buy a Harbor Freight hammer. There is a difference on the screwdrivers and wrenches, though. You know, there's a guy on YouTube here called Project Farm. He does a lot of testing. You know, Snap-on doesn't always come out on top as far as the tests go. But what you're paying for with a Snap-on, man, is the convenience of, you know, I don't have to go to the store. He's going to show up next week and give me a new one. I guess I would say if you're mechanicking and you're just a backyard hobbyist, there's no need to buy Snap-on, but buy Proto or buy Craftsman's no good anymore, so that's junk. I mean, I got that Craftsman crescent wrench. Okay, let me show you the difference. Okay. This is the buy once, cry once thing. This is a USA made 8-inch Craftsman wrench. It's nice. It has some slop in the jaw. This is a USA made snap-on crescent wrench. Very little slop in the jaw. It's got the markings. This is 3 times what this one cost. And this one, this is a bigger snap-on wrench. This one's made in Spain. This has 0 slop in the head. 0. So, do you need, let me hold it out here a little bit. Do you need a snap-on crescent wrench? No, not really. You can get by with a Craftsman. But look at that. Look at the finish on it. It looks like crap. And then you look at the same wrench in Snap-on, the nice chrome. It's up to you, buy once, cry once. Same with the ratchets and stuff. Snap-on 1/2-inch ratchet. You could just listen to the quality of that. It's not like Icon. Yeah. I happen to be doing. Oh shoot! What did I do there? I put Craftsman back in my box. This goes up here. That goes there. And this goes here. There we go. So, well, I'll tell you what. If you think the Spanish know how to make some good stuff, I went into a tool place in St. Charles called Henry's Tool, and they had a Japanese crescent wrench that was 36 inches. It was a huge crescent wrench. Huge. And the precision of it was like calipers. That was the best crescent wrench I ever saw in my life. Huge crescent wrench. Now I have a 24-inch crescent wrench from Harbor Freight. Let me tell you why it's from Harbor Freight and not from Snap-on. I don't think there's a guy alive, the strongest man on the planet, couldn't put enough torque on that without a cheater bar, put enough torque on that wrench to break it. Why would I spend $3,000 for a crescent wrench that I can get for, well, I think it was $40, maybe 30 something or other, $40 after. But I ain't paying $3,000 for, you don't use something like that very often. Okay, there we go. There's the first wrap. Now we're going to undo it from here. So take it from somebody who knows tools. Buy once, cry once. Couldn't believe that Captain Dave was on the stream the other day. Captain Dave and I were Harley mechanics back in 1999 at Widman, Harley Davidson. He's about 10 years older than I am, so He's a retired firefighter and Harley mechanic. I guess he gave up riding. I did that too because the ground is hard. Trust me, you're playing with fire. If you think you can beat it, you can't. Two kind of riders, ones who have crashed and ones who are going to crash. It's like winding slot car armatures. How many guys ever did that? I used to. The reason I know how to do all this weird shit, didn't have any money, so you had to do it yourself. If you wanted to play with the big boys, you had to learn how to do it yourself. And that's basically the whole idea behind model aviation, really, to teach the next generation of guys to be excited in aerodynamics and engineering. So, am I an engineer? Yeah, but I'm an eyeball engineer. I don't know all the formulas. I don't know none of that stuff. But I can go, yep, that's it. That looks right. If it looks right, it probably is. Okay, we're coming down to the tails and the close out of this. Can you guys see that? It's pretty small. Let's see if we can. I can't tell whether you can see it or not. I'm going to wind right up to the eyelet. So that there's no slop in the eyelet. So then you take your tail that you started with and you twist them around like so. Like tying flies, I guess. I need a good pair of nippers. Well, my good ones are in the garage, but I got a pair here that'll work. You can what? Oh, see it. Yeah, got the motor squared away. All right, take this tail here and cut it close to the eyelet. Being careful not to cut the other wire. I take this here, about 1/4 inch or so, twisted. Cut that back, and then I turn it back like so. Now you think we're done? No. Let's see if we can see it. You're not done yet. At least I'm not done yet. Tom Morris used to put epoxy on them. I don't recommend that. I get heat shrink, red and black. I'll cut up these. A lot more professional looking than Goober. I'm going to get another, I got some other lines in the box. I'll show you how they terminate their ends. It's legal, but it sure is Mickey Mouse. Everybody remember the old perfect flying lines? Then you had pylon. Pylons were crimped lines. They put 3 crimps in a brass crimp. Oh, sorry about that. Let's see here. 61s. Now these are 18 thousandths 65s. But look at how those crimps are in there. That's maybe you can see it better there. They thread it through, around twice, back through, loop it, and then crimp it twice. It's legal, but boy, is that Mickey Mouse. I have spectral lines that Dennis had a mission tied up for me. To be honest with you, I like the lines. I absolutely hate the way they're tied off. They are spooky. This is 14 thousandths here. Now, I could run 12s. I could run 9s. Not that I would, but so you just take the heat shrink, put it over that like so. Put it back on there. What that does is it captures your little tail twisty offy thing that you put on there. There you go. One finished line. Let's do the black one next. I'm not gonna do the whole set. I got to go outside and measure them, but I'll do the other line and then we'll call it a wrap. Yeah, go out and mark them. And how I mark them is I have 100-foot tape and I put a ball driver through the end here, and then the tape and I stretch them out 65 foot and take a black fine tip, fine line pen or felt tip pen and put a mark on them, and that's the mark that goes right there, right on the center of that, and then around twice and finish them up. Be sure to pull them together. The way I do my lines and my handle on every airplane, it's a really easy swap for me to take a set of lines off one airplane and put them on the next one. There might be just a slight bit of handle adjustment, just slight. That's in case you screw up and you're brain dead one morning when you wake up and you're at the contest and you put the wrong set of lines on the wrong airplane, you don't hit the ground because it's close. Okay, one set of lines done, one line done, only 3 more to go. So anybody wants to go now, it's going to be the same thing, rinse and repeat. Get on there. Come on now. Come on. There we go. Yeah. No sense of humor, huh? You got a line wrapping jig like this, Jonathan? Or do you got one, a better one, a Tom Morris one? This one's just fine. This one cost $4. Tom Morris's cost 75. I got to fill this up here. 75 plus shipping, and shipping to New Zealand would be about $10,000. These guys are getting ridiculous on shipping, and I'll tell you what really gets me is that my water bill went from 80 to 140. And I had no say in it. So water now is more expensive than gasoline. Yes, it will appear later today. What are you talking about? What will appear? Don't tell me you bought one of them high dollar line wrapping jigs. Not when I just showed you how to make one for $4. Oh, you're making one. Okay. Were you going to make one anyway, or did you learn from this one? I hope you learned from this one. I hope you guys are learning something from me. I don't know what people are learning or not. Am I wasting my time? Trying to pass on all these old world control line tips and tricks. Last night there was a guy on chat that had a painting question on how to fix something. He's going to sand it all off and repaint it. No way. No way. Said I'd have it fixed in 5 minutes. Well, necessity is the mother of the lazy man is the father of necessity, or the father of invention, not necessity, or the guy who don't have any money. You could use a belt, a piece of leather here, 2 pieces of leather, or you could probably use just 2 pieces of balsa wood. But I got the foam because I had a foam sanding pad, and then a piece of balsa wood to keep from kinking the lines. But a leather belt would probably work every bit as good, or maybe even better. I don't know. Got an old belt, old shoe, piece of shoe leather. Now this particular setup is not my idea. I mean, I've known about it for a million years. It's nothing new. The way I made mine is new because I just took the old scrap wood out of the garage and put it together. On the way back from the field today, I knew that I had to make a set of lines. I could have used the Jim Lee clothespin weight method, but the lines don't come out looking as nice as professional. Maybe Jim can make it look right, but I can't. You go back, if you look at my channel, you know, I got to set up that the lives come up instead of the uploads, because I haven't been uploading. I've been doing live shows. If you go back, search my channel for line wrapping, there's already a video of Jim Lee wrapping lines with his little clothespin and reel, going woo woo woo. Like I say, he can do it and do it well. I can't do it and make it look professional like these. And if you learn one thing, don't crimp lines. You know, like I say, I got these furls here. Carl Shute made me a set of pliers before he died to crimp these. There's a difference between crimp and swedge. The Casminato handle has a loop and a swedge on it. And if you use a swedging tool, hydraulic swedging tool, when it swedges, it becomes one piece. The three pieces that go together, the two sets of lines and the collar that goes on it, and you use the hydraulic swedging tool, it has so much force that it actually marries everything together permanently, and they can't slip. But a pair of pliers and a piece of copper tubing is not swedging, that's crimping. Would it break? Probably not. But do you want to trust your airplane took you 400 hours? 400 hours to build? Because it only takes a second for the thing to slip. And you know, you might not get it on a pull test. Pull test the lines, but fatigue from flying, the wear, they could fail. And that would kind of be a disaster that you lost your airplane because of not sitting down and taking your time and doing this. I tell you what I'll do. I'll get this one wrapped. I'll cut it. We'll end the stream. I'm going to go out back, measure them up, mark them, and I'll be back to wrap the last two. That way you can see how to do it inside in the air conditioning and have them come out right. You got no idea how many times I've been at the field. I used to do, like I say, I didn't used to do this jig. I used to just do them in my hand. But this is so much easier. And they come out nicer looking because you can really stack them tight. The good thing I cut these about 5 foot too long. least I think I did. Hope so. Might only end up with 60-foot lines. Have to use them on my Classic. I think I did, though. Made sure to leave plenty. What's bad about this roll of line that I had this on is they came unwound in my box, and I'm probably going to lose a set of lines out of it because they had to clip them to get them off the reel. So I don't know where that clip is going to come. Probably in the middle of where it needs to be, and then I'd be short. But I've made 3 sets of lines out of that 1,000-foot already. $1,000-foot, you get, let me see, what do you get out of 1,000-foot? See, 120. 120 should get 8 sets. That's $200 worth. At 25 bucks. They're probably more than that now, set of lines. Everybody's got their hand out. See, that's what gets me the most. It's people making money off of somebody else's labor. You know, somebody else makes a product, they send it to the guy, and he marks it up. Why? I mean, I understand people got to make money, but they double the price on everything. So if you got 2 middlemen in the middle, it's 4 times as much. And the guys in the middle ain't doing nothing except going handing it from one guy to the next. And the craftsmen don't make shit. Okay, let's bend it back on itself. Come on now, get over there. There it is. You guys get the idea now? I mean, it ain't no big deal. Pretty damn boring. This must be the most boring channel on YouTube. No dancing girls, no stupid pet tricks. No music. course, that's why we don't have a half a billion subscribers. I swear, if I did something stupid, if I did a whole lot of stupid shit, I could make money at this. But because I don't, and it's only old farts watching this stuff, I ain't making nothing. Median age for this hobby is 60. Yeah, there's a spattering of a teenager here and there, but how many teenagers do you know in the hobby? They can't afford it, first off, because they've made everything so damn expensive. Can you imagine? You know, used to be a kit for a Nobler was $4.95, $4.95. Yeah, they're only making $1.35 an hour, but that's 5 hours of work. Now a kit is $300, and a kid making $15 an hour. How many hours does that take him to work? I mean, 40 to make the $300 for a kit. I don't know. That's why nobody's doing this. So stupid. Yeah, I'm talking about the middle stooge, man. You know, I used to mow lawns where I painted curbs. I had a gig going when I was a kid. If you go down the street in LA, everybody has to have their house number painted on a curb. Well, shit, that ain't nothing. You go to Ole's, the hardware store that we had at the time, buy a set of stencils, numbers, make up a square box for the white background. You wire brush the curb a little bit, square stencil on the curb, white, make up the number, the house number, black. You're done. I think I was charging five or $7. I don't know. It was way easier than mowing lawns. I made a killing at that. I mean, you could probably make money today at that because I don't know anybody that's doing it. So any kids listening, if you got curb numbers on your curb, go get yourself some stencils, some white can of white paint, a can of black paint. You'll spend about $10. Well, I don't know about today's prices. Back then it was about $10 to get set up, and shit, you can make $1,000 in a month, no problem. Just rode around on my bicycle and painted curbs. Big minds. I can't read that word from here. Something about big minds are by minute detail. It just aggravates me. What really aggravates me is that 20% increase in my water bill with no vote. So that the politicians here can have 100%. They doubled their salary for doing nothing. The do nothings make all the money. Okay, let's clip that off. And we did a red, let's do a black. Don't use a cigarette lighter to shrink, heat shrink. Don't look like a hillbilly. Okay, so There we go. How about there? Can you hear me now? I don't know how that got. I don't know how that got done. There you have it. The two ends are done. I got to go outside. I got to get my tape measure, mark. Do you guys want me to come back and do the other ends or not? I mean, I can, but it's the same shit. Just rinse and repeat. I guess you guys like to listen to my words of BS. These guys are going to push me just so much farther, and then it's going to be, look out, brother. Yeah, aliens. You want to talk about aliens? Do I think that there's spacemen? Yes, I do. All you got to do is look up in the sky. 180 billion stars visible to the naked eye. Visible without a telescope. Each one of those stars is a sun, similar to ours. Some more similar than others. And around those suns has to be some planets. And on those planets, of the 180 billion suns that you can see in the solar system or in the galaxy, there has to be some life. The intelligent thing to think would they'd have to look something similar to us. Their head would have to be on top, their brains, their mode of transportation would have to be on the bottom. Their feet, their hands would have to be in the middle. So obviously, I think they probably look like, they don't look like us, but they have to be set up like us. Just by logical thinking. They may be farther ahead of us, or they may be way behind us. The ones that are ahead of us could have visited us. We could be their offspring. We could have been dropped here by, like Australia used to be a prison continent. England would take all their prisoners and dump them in Australia. We could be the prison planet. I don't know. They dumped all the flakes off here. Star of David could have been a spaceship in the sky. Immaculate Conception, Jesus Christ. Well, how about artificial insemination? Who knows? I don't know. I wasn't there. Do I believe there's a higher power? Well, there has to be. Somebody made all this crap. If you think that it just happened by accident, you're living in a dreamland, because this is way too complex for accidents. Oh, I don't doubt it. And they're all probably the same, all cheats and thieves. All right, I got to go. I'm going to go out back, string out a set of lines, a tape measure, and mark these things, reel them up, and I'll be back in. So I'll be back on in half an hour. We'll see you in a bit.